What's up, everyone? Welcome in Mikey's Boardroom. I'm Mikey.
Krista.
And this is our boardroom. Tonight, we're going to do a review of Merv. What do you think of that?
It's hot.
It's super hot. Merv is a game for...
That's fetch. Do you know what I'm referencing?
Mean Girls?
Yes. Good job.
I think it's for 1 to 4 players. It might be 1 to 5 players. But it's a game where there's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on.
It's a lot for your brain.
It is. It's the city of Merv. The city of Merv was a bustling city in I don't know. I don't
know if I've ever heard you say bustling.
I'm bustling. It started
I'm
bussing. It started in 6th century BC.
Okay.
And it went for years after that. Until it finally
the confidence.
Until it finally fell to the Mongolian Empire. Genghis Khan took it down. Okay. He murdered 700,000 inhabitants of.
That's so sad.
Merv. Yeah, it is pretty sad actually. But anyways, before it fell, it was the center of
the universe.
Yeah.
Did he control the spice? Or not he, I guess the city.
The city controlled the spice. It controlled the universe. No, it had amazing libraries where scholars would come and study. It was a center of trade. That's what I was trying to say. The center of trade for the spice road. Something like that.
Okay.
Lots of goods being sold. I'm so excited.
So it wasn't far
I'm
off
so
excited.
Spice. I'm so excited. I'm spitting.
That's not unusual for you. Oh my gosh, you have drooled on me so many times in our relationship, disgusting big fat pieces of drool.
I have trouble controlling my lips. What can I say? What can I say? I'm not apologetic about it. I was born that way.
Isn't there a Lady Gaga song about that?
About her lack of ability to control her lips. Like I said, there's a lot to do in this game. The actual system is actually pretty cool, where you're taking turns along the outer edges of the city, and the city is represented by all the different tiles. And so when you take an action, you put your person in a certain column, and you take an action in that column, and it activates all your other buildings in that column. You gain resources. You spend those resources to take the various actions. You can build walls to protect from the Mongols. You can establish trade and buy goods, rare goods, common goods. You can raise your mosque value. I don't know. Go up the mosque track and you get benefits from that. You can send workers into your palace, which gets you points for different things you've collected. You can collect scrolls. There is a lot going on in the game. Lots of different ways to score points, and points are going to be how you win the game.
There are lots of different ways.
Lots of different ways
for sure.
Points. So basically, this review, we're just going to talk about pros and cons, and then any secondary thoughts we had about the game. So, like a lot of reviews out there, basically, like every other review out there. So let's first dive into pros. If you have any questions about the rules, check out our playthrough. We did a playthrough. It's up on our channel. We go into the rules a lot more there. We got the Top Shot going, kind of walk you through how to actually play the game a little bit, and then we actually play it so you can kind of see if it's something that you'd be interested in. So let's jump into those pros. So do you have anything you want to say that you liked about the game?
I like that there's so many different things to do, and they are all pretty much of equal value. The mosque is a little bit better than everything else.
I agree with most of what you said.
Yeah,
I agree with most of what you said. Well, yeah, I'll get into it.
Oh my goodness. Back talk already. No, I really like just all the different options in the game. It doesn't feel repetitive.
Yeah.
It feels fun.
I agree with that.
The whole time.
I definitely agree with that. My first pro is just the art and the theme.
I like that too.
I like the theme.
I concur.
It's a fairly heavy game, and the theme for it works really, really well. The city of Merv and all that stuff. But the art is just super cool. The board is so vibrant.
Yeah.
There's all these different tiles.
Feels like you're looking at an old rug.
Yeah, it does. It really does kind of feel like an old rug.
Are they Persian rugs?
An old rug.
No, the ones that were super expensive.
Yeah, I think so.
Persian rug.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It looks really cool. Yep. If I walked into a room and this was on the table, I would immediately, my head would whip that way and be like, "What is it?
I agree. Actually,
what is that over there?
Mine would too.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want to do that." Yeah, really, really cool. Every aspect of how it looks is spot on.
Yep, I agree.
My other pro is that it plays really, really well at 2 players.
It does.
Really well. I was kind of surprised. I did not think it was going to play that well. The low player count. There is an AI that you use, but that AI is actually more of a positive at a 2-player count than it is a negative. For me, most games that utilize an AI at low player counts, it's sort of like like, oh well, like we can still have fun doing this, even though it's not ideal. This, like, it feels like it feels maybe not ideal, but it feels like it's meant to be. Just the way it works is whoever goes first picks the spot along the side of the city to place the AI, and then whoever goes second places where they actually claim in that column or row. So you can actually really like try and like strategize that and screw over the other person, and then they can even be like, well, actually, you think that you're doing a good thing, but look right here, I screw you over in turn. So like it really like I said, it feels like it's actually
it's like an extra move almost when you get to pick the certain thing. It's like, okay, I get to do this to you.
Exactly.
It's fun.
It's fun. Like it's actually like the AI for 2 players is actually fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, it feels like it's not just there to like help it balance the game, but it actually feels like it's there as part of the game.
Yeah.
It feels really, really good.
Here.
Feels fun. Anything else? Any other positives for you?
No, I just really like the whole game, I think.
Yeah, I really like it too. And another positive for me is the whole turn system. Just how you work your way along the outer edges of the city, and whoever's first picks their spot, and then whoever you're like still in a line. You're still in a line, so whoever picks their spot, they might pick a spot that actually ends up being third, and so then they're going to be third the next time around. But you can use camels, if you have camels, to put them down and skip ahead. So if I was going to be third because I had to go in my column or my row to gain the most resources, if I have to pick that column and it puts me in last place, if I still have camels, I can put them there and jump into first place again. So you can really use those camels to kind of play the game or play the board a bit and like keep it rolling and whatnot. So
I
really,
agree.
really
Actually, I'm
the
glad you
turn
mentioned
system
the
is
camels.
awesome.
Camels are another pro. It like adds another level.
Exactly. The camels are super fun, and they're utilized in a lot of different ways. It's not just the turn order that you can use camels. You can use camels on the board to get benefits. You can use camels on the cards to buy cards that are otherwise unavailable. So the camels are really, really well done.
There was multiple times where I was like, man, there's not like a whole lot I can do here. And I'm like, wait, I have a camel. And then I like got to actually like benefit.
Exactly. The camels. And then even gaining camels, like when you don't get to use the camel, but you're like, hey, I can take 3 camels right now. Like that's a good feeling. Or if somebody manipulates the turn order and cuts in front of you, it's kind of like shoot. But then you're like, hey, I get this camel now, and that's pretty good for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So the camels kind of really, like, they just play well in every aspect.
Yeah, consistently, even when you feel like maybe you've backtracked, you realize, okay, I can go this route, and I've actually still taken 2 steps forward. I feel like the game's constantly moving. There's no feeling like you've been left behind.
Even when you're kind of like, like, I feel behind, like, you're still not there, because
there's so many things.
You can go first to the next two turns if you have camels, and then you can get all your money, all your resources back, and whatever you're working on, you can advance that, in a good way. So, camels are awesome.
Yes.
Another thing I really like is just gaining resources. Like they're just these little kind of cubes. They're not all deluxeified or anything. But just the way it works, where you're claiming the tiles, and then when you put your worker or your person in the column or the row, and you have claimed that like whole row, and you're like, well, I get orange and blue and purple and white and red and white and another white and another red. That just like, I don't know, it's just really satisfying getting all those cubes and then being able to in turn use those cubes to advance in whatever stage you're working on. Just, I don't know, I really like the cubes.
Okay.
I
know what to put in your stocking.
That's I don't know, just I really like the way the whole game kind of works together.
It's very cohesive.
Yeah.
Except for this stupid section over here. What's that called?
The cards?
Yeah, I like never did those.
Watch our playthrough. I beat her using the cards. So
this is true. But that definitely doesn't feel cohesive. Like I'm like, oh shoot, there's that.
I do kind of have something to say on that. It's in my cons, so I'll get to there.
Okay, we'll get. But I was right. We'll just
let me finish with the pros. Right, I got a couple more.
Okay.
I really like the balance of gaining cubes versus spending cubes in the beginning of the game, or gaining resources. The cubes are resources. So gaining resources and spending resources, that's a really good balance. In the beginning of the game, you're going to get 2 at a time, and you're going to spend them immediately. But as you start to build out your city more and start getting more and more resources, there's a good balance of like, I have 6, and I'm going to use 4 of them now, and I'm going to save these 2 for my next turn in the future. There's a lot of like immediate reward, as well as kind of planning ahead and having to think like, what colors do I want to save so that I can do this in my next turn. So lots of immediate reward and also lots of like delayed gratification as you have to plan turns ahead.
Yeah.
Kind of hits both those.
Yeah.
Let's see what else.
I know you can't wait to be gratified.
I can't. Turn that off.
It's not even what I meant. Took it the wrong way.
Another positive. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
I have another positive, and it kind of is what I mentioned before, but just everything works so well in tandem together.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about camels, we talked about resources, and we talked about claiming city tiles. But like the Mongol attack at the end of the second and third year, where the Mongols are going to destroy your building, or your different buildings that you claimed, or the cities that you claimed, you have to protect those cities by building walls, and the walls are going to give you influence. Influence unlocks this other thing in the board where you can gain more spices, which gives you other benefits. It also allows you to use more contract cards. Mm-hmm. So the influence is good, and then there's favor where you need to spend favor to pay for your palace actions, but you gain that favor through influence and through other things on the board. So just everything really kind of like flows and works together. Mm-hmm. Looking at it all in separate pieces, you're like, wow, there's a lot here.
Yeah, I agree.
But once you start playing, you realize that this helps you there, and then this helps you over there, which helps you back up here, which helps you down here. Everything just kind of works together to make it a lot easier than you initially think it's going to be.
Yeah, I remember when you sat me down to learn it, I was like, I'm not going to learn this very easily. This is going to take forever. Exactly. And then we started playing, and I was like,
and
okay.
It just flows. It just really makes, once you get into it, even like the second, third time we played, I was like, how do I do that again? And then once we started playing, I was like, okay, that's right. I just have to continue with this, and it kind of all goes together. Yep. So
I agree.
Everything in tandem in this game works together, and that's a lot to say because there's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. My last pro is just kind of what you said earlier. There's a lot of variety. Mm-hmm. Lots of different ways to score points, and that's going to kind of lead into my cons. So do you have any other pros you want to say before we go into the cons?
No.
Okay, so cons. Let me just say mine first because I basically have one con only about this game. The mosque. So the mosque track. There's a lot of different ways to score points, but I feel like the mosque track is the obvious first thing to do and the only thing to really devote your time on right away. You just get such good it benefits you, I feel like, way more than any other thing in the game because every step you take is going to give you something good.
Every step you
The first one gives you every move you make. The first one gives you a camel, and then after that you get a wild resource upgrade for your city, and then you get favor, and then another upgrade, and then more points, and then soldier, and then all of that, you just get more and more points and free actions, basically. And then at the very top, once you make it to the top, every time you make it around the board, you get 4 extra victory points. So I feel like you're supposed to try and get there first so that you get an extra 12 points in the game by being at the top, and then focus on other things.
Okay.
So that's kind of a con for me because there's a lot to do and there's a lot of variability, but it feels like you're kind of funneled into this
when all I do is the mosque.
Well, I don't know. It's like there's nothing else gives you that many victory points as well as free actions and upgrades and just everything in general that gives you the most. And it's not super hard to make it to the top. You can make it to the top in the first turn or whatnot, or the first go around.
You can't in the first go around, but soon after you could.
Yeah, okay. And by the second
you're a little bit dramatic.
Anyways, I like the variety. I don't like how you're funneled into that first action, and then the game is kind of like, once you do that, you're kind of like, how am I going to score my secondary points, and who's going to do that part better?
Yeah.
But if one person gets all the way up that mosque track way before somebody else, they're going to start accruing a lot of points along the way, and it kind of puts them out of reach.
Yeah.
Whenever you did that, and I ignored the mosque track and I went for just other things to see, and I was obliterated. I did terrible, and she just went way off the board. So I don't like how you have to do that first, but overall I really like all the different things you can do.
Yeah.
Do you have any cons?
I'm thinking.
I really only had that one, and it was a doozy.
It was a doozy. No, I don't really think I have any cons.
No cons? There's nothing
really
that you didn't like about this game?
I'm really thinking. I mean, a con, I guess, would be that you can't get to everything in a game.
Okay. That was something I was going to bring up as a secondary thought.
Okay. I mean, it's not really a con, though, because it still feels very
exactly.
full.
It's just a secondary thought. There's so much going on, and the game's not long enough, or for you to get to everything. It's going to end before you can accomplish everything you want.
I went to the mosque and finally accomplished that, and then I got a couple of Bs, and by the time I'd gotten a couple of those, the game was over, and I couldn't
I feel like the mosque track is part of the problem there, because if you didn't have to dedicate your first entire turn to that mosque track, you could maybe get a little more done elsewhere.
I agree, but I feel like it would feel more tedious.
Maybe. I think it's fun, so I guess I'm not really complaining. But yes, like you said, you're not going to get to everything.
Yeah, but it's so full in so many other ways that it doesn't really
hinder it for me. But some people are not going to like that. It's going to feel incomplete because they want to dedicate. Yeah. Like the only thing you're going to complete is that mosque track.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing you're going to need to complete to like be competitive. Yeah. But other than that, you're not going to complete everything else. And if you like, we went through multiple games where we never did the cards, we never did a contract. I never built walls my first game. And I still was competitive for the most part, other than the game where
definitely the first 2 games I destroyed you, because not only did I do the mosque, but then I built walls, and then I had that thing for the extra points for the walls.
Game, the second game, I got destroyed because you built all the walls and you did the whole mosque track, and I was focused on cards and contracts and scrolls. Yeah, and that left me just
in the dust. Okay, wait. I have a little bit of a con, and it kind of ties in. So, in order to get these points down here, what's this called?
The palace.
The palace. You have to make sure to go on those things that get you the points, and that's easy to forget.
Wait, what things?
Don't you have to land on the favor thingies? Or there's something to where I kept forgetting. You'd be like, don't forget, you need to get enough points in order to qualify.
So for the palace action, when you put your workers there, they're called couriers. And however many couriers you have in the palace at the end of the round, you have to pay that many favor points. So if you have 4 workers, you have to pay 4 favor points. If you have 3 favor points, you can only score for 3 of them. You pay all your favor points. If you have 2 couriers and 4 points, you spend 2 of them. Does that make sense? Where are we going with that again?
It's just a con because I kept forgetting. I was doing other things, and so that seems a little bit monotonous to me, trying to remember that you have to do that.
I think the con there is that there's just a lot going on. Yeah. It can really be kind of hard to be... you'll literally look at a section of the board and be like, oh, yeah. Yeah. I was trying to do something over there. Because there's so much going on, you kind of get caught up in all the different things. But I think that's also a pro, because all the different things are, fun to do. Yeah, I do want to do that, and I do want to do that, and I do want to do that.
I just remember that was something that I was like, oh, yeah, crap, every time we were playing it.
Yeah, the favor points. There are a lot of the different points you're trying to get to balance everything out, and it can kind of be annoying.
That was my one
it can
annoyance.
Kind of be annoying. Okay, so that was the only con I had was the whole mosque track thing.
Okay.
It sounds like you don't have any other cons either.
Not really.
Okay, so let's move into final scores. Okay. Do you want to do the first one, or shall I?
You can do the first one.
Okay. I'm going to give this game... Let me think about it for a second, because we never plan ahead. I didn't... It's not a 5 to me. It's not a 5 because if you never wanted to play it again, I could live with it. I could never play it again. It's a really good game. I think to me it's a 3. In that it's a really good game.
I didn't expect
this game made me consider doing a 3.5, which I always thought 0.5s were I never wanted to use them, but to me it's a really good game. It's a really solid game. If you never wanted to play it again, and we never played it again, I think I'd be okay with it.
Okay.
I think I could live with it. It's super fun, and I want to play it more, and I do want to keep it, but I don't think I would really miss it if we never played it, which sounds weird, but that's why it's a 3 to me. I want to say 3.5 because I want to keep it. Where 3's where I'm fine getting rid of it is a 3. Okay. A 3.5 is something that it's a 3, but I want to keep. So it's a 3 that I want to keep. Okay. And I do want to play it more, and I would ask to play it more. But like I said, if you hated it, I would just I could move on from it. Okay. And so that's why it's a 3.
Okay. I would give this game a 4 out of 5.
4? Yeah.
It's a game where I for sure want to keep it on the shelf.
Okay.
And I think I would personally be like, hey, let's play Merv tonight.
Okay. I like to hear that. I'm good with that.
That's one that I feel like we could play this many times, and I don't think it would get boring.
Great. I would play this. I would continue to play this, yeah.
And I also feel like after we play it a few times, it would probably get easy enough to where we could probably watch something while we play this.
It is,
which is a benefit to me, too.
That's true. It is kind of... Yeah. Once you get in the rhythm of it, it's just looking at matching colors and moving up tracks and whatnot.
Yeah, so, and I mean, if I just stop the smack talk, then we don't even have to talk while we watch.
Exactly.
We're going to watch.
Quit putting me down. That's never going to happen.
Well, maybe stand up and I want to put you down.
Okay. Okay, a 4. So
I give it a 4. A solid 4.
Looks like we're keeping it then.
Yeah, like the only reason it's not getting a 5 is because if you really disliked it and didn't want to play it, I would begrudgingly let it go. But I would probably think about it.
Okay. I'm glad you liked it. But, any game you like that much, I'm always down to play.
Yeah, but I would give it, I don't know, it's a good one. It's a good game.
Yeah, really good game. Solid game.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was it.
That was it. We're done. Get out of here. Go and get. Yeah, anything else you want to say? Any closing thoughts?
Nope.
Perfect. Thank you so much for stopping in and watching our Merv review. Check it out. Check out our playthrough.
Check it out.
Check it out our playthrough. And other than that, we got other videos up, playthroughs and reviews mainly. And if you have a game you want us to play, or you want to see us play, or you want to see us review, let us know. We will do our best to get it. We'd rather play a game that you suggest than just a random one that I decided to buy.
Yes.
So let us know what you want to see. And other than that, comment, like, subscribe, and go out there. Make it the best day possible for everybody around you.
You better not keep that in. I'm gonna kill you.